how are you going to position Kenya as a logistics and transport corridor that serves Kenyans and serves all the landlocked countries around us? How are we going to do that? What do we need to do to achieve that? And I believe it's also an answer that we must provide even in the context of the vision beyond 2030. So what we are going to be discussing here and in the subsequent sessions is to really figure out how are we going to position Kenya in this context. Not necessarily how our companies will benefit. That is going to be there. Once we have a clear vision, the benefits will also accrue to the companies. So I think we need to appreciate that. The sea should not be viewed as Kenya's edge. It should be viewed as one of our great economic highways. Our location gives us an opportunity to become not merely a country through which cargo passes, but a country that creates businesses, jobs, skills, investment, and wealth around maritime activity. That is why the question of Kenyan participation in the maritime economy is important. We must train more young Kenyans for global opportunities in seafaring and the wider maritime value chain, while building partnerships with shipping lines and other industry players for skills transfer, internships, recruitment, and career progression. We have 16 landlocked countries in Africa. The ones that are largely dependent on Kenya are South Sudan, Uganda, Burundi, Rwanda, Southern Ethiopia, so just say Ethiopia, and Eastern DRC. Whether we like it or not, Kenya is their route for inbound cargo and outbound cargo. Kenya cannot become an obstacle because under international conventions, we have an obligation to facilitate all the landlocked countries. It's an international obligation. It does not end with us. So the policies and the issues that we are doing, we may think we are dealing with our own problems, but we are actually infringing on very critical conventions that also have implications on the well-being of millions of other people around us. So this needs to be appreciated. For our partners, the business community and others, we also have got to come to terms with the reality now that we are now dealing with a different generation of Kenyans who want involvement. The term public participation should not necessarily end with the political discourse. Participation must be seen in terms of also bringing in these younger people, these other Kenyans who have come into the investment package more critically and more essentially than we have done before. Basically, the Kenyans are saying they are not satisfied with tokenism. They want to see genuine partnership. This is a new crisis, but an opportunity that we must also look at effectively. So we have to be realistic. Capital, moves. Good regulation invites even more capital. Kenyans are demanding more participation, more involvement. So we need to strike that balance. It's absolutely essential. We cannot, all of us, hold the same ground and stick to the same ground and lines. We must all give. We must all give. The private sector must give. The companies must give. The government of Kenya must give. The other people, parliament, regulators must give. We must come to this collective. If we continue holding our recalcitrant positions, then these regulations will forever be in court. Kenyans spare nobody. They take the president to court every day. So it is no longer an issue of a directive from the top that has got to be obeyed. No. We now must come to the reality that it's about consensus that must bring us together. I'm speaking to these hard truths because there is no option now. We really have to engage. We must also ensure that Kenyans participate not only as workers, but as owners and investors. Let us therefore consider how Kenyan capital can find its way into shipping, logistics, shipbuilding, maritime services, and related enterprises, including innovative possibilities such as the cross-listing of shipping companies on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Ultimately, the ambition must be bigger than resolving today's regulatory questions. We should be building a maritime economy in which government provides the enabling environment, the private sector brings investment and innovation, and the young Kenyans provide the talent and the enterprise that will carry the sector into the future. The blue economy has enormous untapped potential, and the government has identified it as an important source of jobs, wealth, and inclusive growth.